Listen to me. It's time to wake up and take responsibility for your life. No more waiting, no more blaming, no more pointing fingers at the world, your past, or your circumstances. You have to own it, every bit of it. The life you're living right now is the result of every choice you've made up until this moment. That's the truth, and the sooner you accept it, the sooner you can change it. You can't afford to sit around making excuses about why you're not where you want to be. I get it. Life is hard. You've had setbacks. You've been knocked down. People have doubted you, maybe even counted you out. But so what? That's life. Everybody goes through something, but not everybody decides to rise from it. And that's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Some of you have been waiting for permission to be great. You're waiting for someone to come along and push you, motivate you, hold your hand, and tell you it's time to go after what you want. But let me tell you something. Nobody's coming. If you sit around waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for someone to validate you, waiting for the stars to align, you'll still be in the same place 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You'll watch other people pass you by, not because they were better than you, not because they had more talent, but because they took action while you sat around making excuses. You got dreams, right? Big goals. You say you want success, you want financial freedom, you want to build something, leave a legacy, make an impact, but do you really? Because if you did, you wouldn't be wasting time. You wouldn't be sleeping in, scrolling through your phone for hours, binge watching TV, and surrounding yourself with people who don't push you forward. You wouldn't be making excuses every time things got hard. You have to decide right now that enough is enough, that you're done playing small, that you're done letting laziness win, that you're done blaming your past, your environment, your upbringing, your struggles, because guess what? There are people out there who started with less than you, faced more obstacles than you, and still made it happen. So what's your excuse? You've got to stop telling yourself that you can't. Stop saying it's too hard. Stop saying you don't have enough time. Stop saying you're not ready. You're as ready as you'll ever be. You have what it takes, but you have to commit. You have to stop being soft with yourself. Stop negotiating with laziness. Stop giving yourself an easy way out every time it gets uncomfortable. Nobody's going to do it for you. If you want it, you have to fight for it. Every single day, you have to wake up and push yourself. Even when you don't feel like it, you have to show up even when you're tired. You have to do the work even when nobody is watching, even when nobody is clapping for you, even when nobody believes in you. You have to be your own biggest supporter, your own coach, your own motivator, because the truth is, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. If you don't push yourself, nobody else will. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your life, everything changes. No more waiting, no more hoping things will get better on their own. You have to make them better. You have to be the one to step up, take control, and say, I refuse to be lazy. I refuse to waste my potential. I refuse to let my dreams die because I was too afraid, too tired, too distracted. So right now, make that decision. Get up, move, take action. Your future depends on it. Laziness is the enemy of your dreams. Every single time you choose comfort over discipline, every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, every time you hit snooze on your goals, you are killing your own destiny. You are robbing yourself of the future you say you want. You talk about success. You talk about making it. You talk about changing your life. But when it's time to put in the work, you disappear. You check out. You find an excuse. And that's why you're stuck. That's why you're not where you want to be. Because you're letting laziness win. You can't afford to waste time. You can't afford to sit around hoping things will change while you stay the same. Success doesn't work like that. You either show up and give everything, or you watch somebody else take what could have been yours. And I know what you're thinking. I'll get serious next week. I'll start grinding next month. I'll do it when I feel motivated. But let me tell you something. The people who are winning, the people who are making things happen, they don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for a perfect time. They don't wait until they feel like it. They just do it every single day. Laziness is a slow poison. You don't notice it at first. You think skipping one workout, missing one study session, pushing your dream to the side for just a little while is no big deal, right? but then one day turns into two, two turns into a week turns into months. And before you know it, years have passed, and you're still in the same place. And the worst part, you can't blame anybody but yourself. You say you want it. You say you want success, but do you really? Because if you did, you wouldn't keep choosing laziness over progress. You wouldn't keep choosing distractions over discipline. You wouldn't keep choosing excuses over execution. You wouldn't be spending hours scrolling through social media, watching other people live their dreams while you sit on the sidelines. You wouldn't be spending all your free time watching TV, playing video games, hanging out with people who don't push you forward. You wouldn't be treating your future like an afterthought. You have to understand every decision you make is either moving you closer to your dream or further away from it. There is no in between. There is no neutral ground. Every time you choose to be lazy, you are choosing to lose. Every time you put things off, you are choosing failure. And let's be real, you feel it. You know deep down when you're wasting time. You know when you're not giving your best. And that feeling, that guilt, that frustration, that's your future self begging you to wake up. That's your dream screaming at you, asking, why are you letting me die? So what are you going to do? You going to keep making excuses? Are you going to keep pushing your goals further and further away? Or are you going to step up and take control of your life? You've got to fight against laziness like your life depends on it, because it does. Your dreams depend on it. Your success depends on it. Your legacy depends on it. And I know, it's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's not always fun. But guess what? That's the price of greatness. That's the price of success. You don't get to be lazy and successful at the same time. You don't get to put in half the effort and expect full results. You don't get to do the bare minimum and live an extraordinary life. It doesn't work that way. You've got to push yourself. You got to wake up every single day with hunger, with fire, with determination. You got to remind yourself why you started in the first place. You got to remind yourself what's at stake. Because if you keep playing around, if you keep wasting time, if you keep letting laziness win, you're going to wake up one day and realize you let your whole life pass you by. So make a decision right now. No more laziness, no more excuses, no more waiting. Get up and go get what's yours. Why did you start? Do you remember? Do you remember the fire you had when you first began this journey? Do you remember the reason you said, I'm going to change my life? Because somewhere along the way you forgot. Somewhere between the struggle and the setbacks, the disappointments and the distractions, you lost sight of why you started. And that's why you're slowing down. That's why you're making excuses. That's why you're letting laziness creep in. You didn't start this just to quit when it got tough. You didn't start this just to slow down when you got tired. You didn't start this just to go halfway and then turn around. You had a reason, a purpose, a vision, and now you got to remind yourself what that was. Maybe you started because you wanted to prove something to yourself. Maybe you started because you were tired of struggling. Maybe you started because you wanted to change your family's future. Maybe you started because you knew deep down that you were meant for more. Whatever it was, you had something pushing you. You had something driving you. And now you need to tap back into that. Because right now, you're letting temporary emotions dictate your future. You're letting a little fatigue, a little discomfort, a little struggle make you forget why you even began in the first place. And that's dangerous. That's how dreams die. That's how people wake up years from now full of regret, wondering what could have been, knowing they had the potential, but never followed through. Listen, I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how hard it's been. I don't care how many obstacles are in your way. You owe it to yourself to keep going. You owe it to yourself to fight for what you started. Because you made a commitment. You made a promise to yourself. You said you were going to do this. You said you were going to push through. You said you were going to make it happen. And now, what? Now that it's not easy, you're ready to walk away? Now that it's uncomfortable, you're ready to slow down? No! You've got to remind yourself every single day why you started, and let that fuel you, let that push you, let that drive you, even when you don't feel like it. Because guess what? The feeling you had when you first started, that hunger, that passion, that excitement, that wasn't a coincidence. That was real. That was your soul telling you this is the path you need to walk. That was your future self calling out to you, saying, don't stop until you get here. And now, just because the road is getting rough, you're thinking about turning around? No, you keep going. You keep fighting. You keep showing up. Because the moment you reconnect with your reason, the moment you remember why you started, laziness won't stand a chance. Quitting won't even be an option, because you'll be so locked in, so focused, so determined that nothing can stop you. So do whatever you've got to do to remind yourself, write it down, say it out loud, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, this is why I started, and I refuse to stop until I finish. Because if you can hold on to that, if you can keep that fire alive, there's nothing that can stand in your way. Now get up, get moving, and go finish what you started. You're waiting to feel motivated. You're waiting for some magical burst of energy to hit you, for the perfect moment where everything just clicks and you suddenly feel like grinding. That's why you suck. That's why you're not where you want to be, because you still think motivation is the key. Motivation is a lie. It's a temporary feeling. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up fired up, ready to go. Other days you don't feel like doing anything. And if you only show up on the days when you feel good, on the days when it's easy, you'll never make it. You'll never be great, because greatness doesn't come from feelings. It comes from discipline. Discipline means you show up regardless of how you feel. It means you put in the work, whether you're excited or exhausted, whether it's convenient or uncomfortable. It means you don't wait for the perfect conditions, you create them. You don't wait for motivation, you build habits that keep you moving forward no matter what. This is what separates the people who succeed from the people who don't. The ones who win, the ones who make it happen, they aren't relying on motivation. They've trained themselves to get up and execute no matter what. They've built a mindset that says, I do it whether I feel like it or not. You think the greats always felt like working? You think they woke up every single day excited to train, to grind, to push themselves beyond their limits? No, but they did it anyway. They showed up anyway. And that's why they're great. That's why their names are remembered, because they weren't driven by feelings. They were driven by purpose, by commitment, by a decision to be relentless. But you're letting your feelings run your life. You say, I don't feel like working out today. I don't feel like studying. I don't feel like putting in the effort. And you actually listen to that voice. You actually let it dictate your actions. That's why you're stuck. That's why you're not making progress. Because you haven't trained yourself to move forward regardless of how you feel. You have to make a decision right now that you're done being controlled by feelings, that you're done waiting for motivation, that from this moment on, you operate on discipline. You wake up and execute because it needs to be done, not because you feel like it. You go to the gym, you study, you build, you grind, you work on your craft, not because you're in the mood, but because you made a commitment to yourself. Because if you don't, you'll always be a slave to your emotion. You'll always be at the mercy of your moods, and your dreams will suffer for it. You'll be inconsistent. Some days you'll go hard, other days you'll disappear. Some weeks you'll be locked in, other weeks you'll be lazy. And that kind of inconsistency will never take you to the top. The people who are successful, they don't have some secret formula. They don't have more hours in the day. They don't have some magical source of motivation that you don't. No, they just built the habit of showing up no matter what. They put in the work when they're tired, when they're stressed, when they don't feel like it. And because of that, they separate themselves from the crowd, and you can do the same right now. You can start building the discipline that will change your life. You can start training yourself to show up every single day, no matter what. And I promise you, once you do that, once you stop relying on motivation and start relying on discipline, you'll be unstoppable. So no more waiting, no more feelings, no more excuses. Get up, lock in, and go make it happen. There's somebody out there depending on you to show up, somebody who needs you to be strong, somebody who needs you to push through, to keep going, to finish what you started. And you don't even realize it. You are so caught up in your feelings, so caught up in your excuses, so caught up in what's hard, what's uncomfortable, what's inconvenient, that you've forgotten that your future self is watching you. Your future self is counting on you to make the right decisions today. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to look back at this moment and you're either going to be proud that you pushed through, or you're going to be full of regret wishing you had. You're either going to be living the life you dreamed of, or you're going to be stuck in the same place wishing you had been more disciplined, wishing you had put in the work, wishing you hadn't let laziness win. That person you're going to become, the version of you that's successful, that's accomplished, that's living the dream, is dependent on you right now to stop playing around, to stop making excuses, to stop procrastinating, to stop saying I'll do it later, and start making moves today, right now, because every decision you make today is shaping that person. Every choice you make is either bringing you closer to your future or pushing it further away. And don't you dare think that time is on your side. You don't have as much time as you think. You keep telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But what if tomorrow never comes? You keep saying, I have plenty of time, but before you know it, a year will pass, then 5 years, then 10, and you'll look around and realize you're in the exact same place you were when you first had that dream. You can't afford to waste another second. You can't afford to let another day slip by without doing something to get closer to your goals. Because every moment you waste, somebody else is working. Somebody else is out there grinding. Somebody else is putting in the work that you're avoiding. And one day you're going to look up and see them living the life that could have been yours if only you had been willing to fight for it. I need you to understand that you have the power right now to change everything. But you have to stop thinking small, stop thinking short term, stop thinking about what feels good in the moment and start thinking about what's best for your future. Stop making decisions based on how you feel today and start making decisions based on the person you want to become. Because the truth is, the future isn't some far off thing that just happens. It's built brick by brick, day by day, decision by decision. And if you keep choosing comfort over growth, if you keep choosing distractions over discipline, if you keep choosing to be lazy instead of locked in, you're going to wake up one day and realize you built the wrong future. But if you choose to commit, if you choose to show up, to stay focused, to be disciplined, your future self is going to thank you. Your future self is going to look back and say, I'm so glad you didn't quit. I'm so glad you didn't take the easy way out. I'm so glad you pushed through even when it was hard. So stop thinking about right now and start thinking about where you want to be. Start thinking about the person you're becoming, because that person is counting on you. That version of you is watching, and they're waiting for you to make the right move. So make it right now. No more hesitation, no more excuses. Do what you need to do today so that your future self can live the life you were meant to have. You have to stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you don't have time. Stop saying you don't have the resources. Stop saying you don't have the energy. You have everything you need. You just don't want it bad enough. You're comfortable. You're too used to taking an easy route. You convince yourself that you're doing enough, but deep down you know you're not giving it everything. You keep telling yourself that you're working hard, but are you really? Are you really pushing yourself to your limits? Are you really waking up every single day and attacking your goals with everything you got? Or are you doing just enough to get by, just enough to make it look like you're grinding, just enough to trick yourself into thinking you're making progress? You have to be real with yourself. If you're not where you want to be, it's because you're not doing what it takes. It's not because of bad luck. It's not because of your circumstances. It's not because of anyone else. It's because of you. Because you keep letting yourself off the hook. You keep cutting corners. You keep choosing distractions over discipline. And I know the truth hurts, but you need to hear it. You need to face the reality that you are the reason you're not where you want to be. Because once you accept that, once you stop making excuses and take full responsibility, that's when you take your power back. That's when you stop waiting for life to change and start making it change. You say you want to be successful, but success requires sacrifice. It requires long nights, early mornings, missing out on things, saying no when everybody else is saying yes, It requires you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And right now, you're not willing to do that. You want success to be easy. You want it to come without struggle. You want it to happen on your schedule, on your terms. But it doesn't work like that. You have to stop thinking like everybody else. Stop thinking you can put in minimal effort and get maximum results. Stop thinking you can work hard for a few days, a few weeks, and suddenly see your life transform. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistency. It happens through relentless effort, through showing up every single day no matter what. And that's when most people fail. They start strong, but the moment it gets tough, the moment they don't see instant results, they slow down. They start questioning if it's even worth it, and eventually they give up. But not you, not anymore. You're not going to be like everybody else. You're going to push through. You're going to keep grinding even when it's hard, even when it's frustrating, even when you don't see immediate results, because the results are coming. The breakthrough is coming, but only if you stay locked in, only if you stay committed, only if you stop playing games with yourself and start doing what you know you need to do. So stop making excuses, stop lying to yourself, stop settling for average when you know you're meant for more. Get up, get focused, get disciplined, and go get what's yours. Pain is part of the struggle, is part of the journey. You cannot avoid it, you cannot escape it, and you cannot outrun it. The moment you decided you wanted to be great, the moment you set a goal bigger than yourself, you signed up for pain. You signed up for setbacks. You signed up for long nights, for moments of doubt, for frustration, for everything that makes most people quit. But here's what you need to understand. Pain is not your enemy. Struggle is not your enemy. Quitting is. You're going through it right now. You feel tired. You feel drained. You feel like no matter how hard you push, no matter how much effort you give, things aren't moving fast enough. You feel like you're stuck in the same place, and every time you try to take a step forward, life pushes you 2 steps back. And in those moments, the weak ones stop. The ones who don't want it bad enough make excuses. They tell themselves, maybe this isn't for me. They start looking for an easier way out. But not you, not this time. This time you push through. This time you keep going even when it hurts, even when you're exhausted, even when it feels impossible. Because that pain you're feeling, that pressure, that frustration, it's not there to stop you. It's there to build you, to test you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for everything that's waiting for you on the other side. Nothing worth having comes easy. Nothing great is built without resistance. You think the champions, the leaders, the people you admire got there without struggle? You think they woke up one day and success just landed in their lap? No, they went through it. They suffered, they failed. They fell down over and over again. But they refused to quit. They refused to give in. And because of that, they made it. You're going to have moments where you want to walk away. You're going to have moments where you feel like you can't take anymore. That's part of the process. That's how you know you're getting closer. Because every time you push through, every time you refuse to quit, every time you decide to keep going, when everything in you is telling you to stop, that's when growth happens. That's when transformation happens. That's when you separate yourself from the rest. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they don't have the ability. They fail because they couldn't handle the struggle. They couldn't handle the pressure. They gave up when it got hard. And it's the only difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't. Not skill, not intelligence, not luck, just the willingness to endure. So what are you going to do? Are you going to let this struggle break you? Are you going to let the pain convince you to quit? Or are you going to embrace it? Are you going to recognize that this is what's making you stronger? That every challenge, every obstacle, every setback is shaping you into the person you need to be. You didn't come this far just to stop now. You didn't put in all this work just to quit when it got tough. Keep going, keep fighting, keep pushing. Because on the other side of this pain is everything you've been working for. There is no more time to waste. No more waiting for the right moment. No more waiting until you feel ready. No more waiting for life to make it easier for you. This is it, right here, right now. This is the moment where you decide to go all in. Because if you don't, if you keep putting it off, if you keep telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow, you'll wake up years from now, looking back at all the time you wasted, realizing you could have been so much further. And that feeling right there, that regret, that's something you do not want to live with. You keep thinking you have time. You keep thinking there will always be another chance, another opportunity, another day to get serious. But time is moving whether you're ready or not. Life is moving whether you're prepared or not. The world is not slowing down to wait for you to make up your mind. And every second that you hesitate, somebody else is out there grinding. Somebody else is out there making moves. Somebody else is out there turning their dreams into reality. Why are you still thinking about it? It's time to move. It's time to execute. It's time to stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is action. Not motivation, not talent, not luck, just action. Just the willingness to put in the work day after day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't coming fast enough. You can't afford to keep waiting. You can't afford to keep hoping that success will find you. It won't. Success doesn't come to the ones who wait. It comes to the ones who chase it down. The ones who get up every single day and put in the work. The ones who refuse to accept anything less than greatness. How many times have you told yourself you were going to change? How many times have you promised yourself that this would be the year, this would be the time, this would be the moment you finally go all in? And how many times have you broken that promise? How many times have you let yourself down? That cycle ends today. There is no more starting and stopping, no more excuses, no more waiting for motivation to magically show up. This is your life. This is your dream. And if you don't take it seriously, no one else will. If you don't fight for it, no one else will. If you don't show up and give it everything you got, you will never get to where you want to be. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be comfortable. If it was, everybody would be successful. If it was, everybody would be living their dream. But they're not, because most people give up when it gets hard. Most people slow down when things don't go their way. Most people quit when success doesn't come fast enough, but not you. You're built different. You have more in you than you've been showing. You have more potential than you've been tapping into. But it's going to take everything you got. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take an unshakable mindset that says, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how hard it gets. I'm going to make it happen. No more half effort. No more trying. Either you all in or you're not. Either you're serious about this or you're not. And if you're not, be honest with yourself. Stop pretending you want it if you're not willing to work for it. Stop saying you have big goals if you're not willing to put in big effort. Stop playing yourself. But if you are serious, if you are ready, if you do want it as bad as you say you do, then it's time. Time to go all in. Time to make the sacrifices. Time to give up the distractions, give up the excuses, give up the comfort, and do whatever it takes to turn your vision into reality. You don't have another day to waste. No more hesitation, no more waiting. The time is now. Go get it.